Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and we're back with a surprising review. Now this is the Age of the Primes 2-pack, Autobot Sandstorm, and Slugslinger, part of the Wreck and Doom collection. Actually, did I say Autobot Sandstorm? Yeah, okay. So it's Sandstorm and Slugslinger. Now, this was originally I thought was supposed to come around October, November. Then it got pushed up to September. Then it got pushed up to the end of August. Then the beginning of August. And then yesterday I get a notice that I'm being charged for it. And this morning I get a notice. Well, it was actually a little bit, well, I checked late last night, but then I got the email today. It shipped, and I got it today. So that's actually the first time in a while that I've actually gotten something from Amazon 1 day shipping. Unfortunately, though, I am a little bit disappointed in this set. Now, originally, I was very excited to get this set for Slugslinger because this is actually in the American animation colors, whereas originally, the original Titans Return release, good luck finding it for a reasonable price, was in the toy colors, and then the Japanese Legends release, good luck finding it for a reasonable price, was in the Japanese animation colors. But the Hasbro Rebirth Season 4 colors were actually much darker, and it's actually more indicative of what we have here. Sandstorm is just a straight re-release of the Legacy United, maybe? Leader Class Triple Changer. First of all, by the way, if you see the packaging, you're going to wonder like how they fit Sandstorm in there. They have the legs collapsed. But with a new head, and it's the animation accurate head, which is what people wanted all along. Now, I am not going to do a full review of Sandstorm for one reason and one reason only. Besides the new head here, let's give him a nice little, there it is, there it is. That's the head. That's the cartoon head. Look at the eyes. Yep. Besides that new head, there was nothing new here. The other issue is, well, a lot of people were hoping. Nope, they did not fix the issue with the chest tabbing in. Besides a new head, they would have had to retool something in here to have that chest tab in better, more securely, make the peg longer, make something, longer. So basically, there's nothing of value to this figure besides the new head. One thing I will mention is that all of the accessories for both figures come wrapped in tissue paper behind the tray. So you have to attach the little propeller section here, both guns. The only thing that does not come in the tray, in the tissue paper that is actually said it is the winch for the capture cage. That is actually attached to the capture cage, which is sitting in the tray, and it's facing towards the back. And of course, that cage is an important part of both, is really actually an important part of the dune buggy mode. You need it to complete the bottom of the dune buggy and the roll cage. Helicopter mode, it's just, something that can hang. And you see just here, moving the elbow, that just unpegs. So, very disappointed. Other than that, figure feels stable. Yeah, and that's about all I can say about that. Now let's get the Slugslinger. And by the way, if you are interested in Sandstorm, I will have a link to my original review at the end. Nothing different there. Slugslinger was actually part of Wave 4 of Titans Return, and it was really the only new figure. In fact, I think it was the only figure in Wave 4. Making it very hard to find, especially when you consider that by Wave 5, Toys R Us had closed, and most of its stock, including those Wave 5 Decepticon Space Jet Target Masters that Slugslinger was a part of, were actually shipped off to stores like Ollie's. If you ever wondered why Ollie's now has a robust toy section, it's because basically they were doing record sales during that time with people coming in trying to get all the Transformers that got shipped over there, and were getting them at cheaper prices. Slugslinger was, I'll just say, it was my favorite of Titans Return. I actually regret getting rid of the Hasbro version because the Takara Legends version did not do the Target Master well. On the original toy, which I'm pretty sure was probably my favorite of the Target Masters as well, there was some parts forming to the figure that was not done on the Takara release, and it just didn't look like that. This is basically how the figure, the Target Master, looked back in the day. You fold the figure up, this piece would peg in. And by the way, you can, of course, recreate the little battle station thingy bobby that the headmaster would sit in. It's got the post there. You do have the separate guns, can hold it separately, but I'm here for this. The other thing I was excited about, as I mentioned in the beginning, was the animation accurate colors. Unfortunately, they also kind of did a little shittery-do with us that all this gray was supposed to be of more silver color, and it looks that way on the packaging. Other than that, the last little negative bit I have to give, and I don't remember from the original toy, I do apologize, it is packed away. It's an almost 8-year-old figure that is actually quite valuable, so it and the Legends version I would not pull out to do like a 2-second comparison. It does feel a little bit looser than I remember, especially this backpack. It just doesn't peg in anywhere, which I'm pretty sure it's supposed to. Other than that, like the little hinge here that's supposed to fold up, that's gone. So let's quickly take a look at Caliburst, the headmaster. So there's Slugslinger's head. Now Caliburst, and I'm pretty sure I have that name right. Let me very quickly check. And it's, of course they're not going to give me an easy answer. Yes, Caliburst, which was the name of the Target Master. Just a repaint. I mean, I don't even know if this was an original mold back when it was new. You know, these are so small and so hard to get to the detail. Who knows if it's even, you know, sharing parts or what have you and stuff like that. But like I mentioned, you can have them stand in here, just like that. And you just bring the gun up here, and there you go. You got, or you can have another headmaster, you know, stuff like that. But he went flying. But let's get to the transformation. Now, I do believe in the original transformation, since that is my style. We did from vehicle to robot. So of course I'll be nice now and do robot to vehicle. I will have a link to the original review at the end. Go ahead, fold the fists up, so you can get that original vibe. Bring the arms down. Remove the head if you haven't. Come around to the backpack here. Bring the nose cone up, and it's going to fold accordion over and tab into place on the side. You can have the wings angled back. That's just my preference, how I like to do things. Peg the legs together. Flip the feet up. Now, you're not going to flip them up into the heels. You actually want the feet facing up like so, and then fold it out, the waist out on this section. If you remember from Titan's Return, I believe those final Decepticon jets, including Slugslinger here, they were just basically retools of each other, so this was like a very common transformation. Fold the leg over, and you're just going to have it kind of slide in, fold into place, and on the legs will stay on an angle. Oh, and one of the legs actually popped off, but you want to keep that out. And am I doing something? Just oh, there we go. So you basically want to have that hip section straight, and those the robot hips, that hip bar straight, and those robot hips just will swing up and, you know, just friction into place right there. To finish the transformation, bring the arms down all the way. There's a little slot that the tabs on the forearms will snap into, and then the wing will peg into that. Weskily Wappet. Tab it in, snap it down, and there you have Slugslinger in its vehicle mode. This really looked cool back in the day when it was like a target master. I mean, they were making them bigger. It was just really fun to handle. The head would pop. I think the head was on a spring or a gear that you could just rotate it up. I do hope someday to get something like this, but not a headmaster, maybe a little bit bigger with a proper target master. Open the cockpit, put Caliburst in as a in a seated position. Make sure it is seated so it'll fit. There's a little slot that the tab on the back of the leg will fit into. Close the canopy. There are posts here that if you want to peg other Titan Masters or Headmasters into. For the weapons, you can just use the posts here. There's spaces under the wing. Unfortunately, there isn't. You know, I just realized there isn't a way to peg the weapon in on the main body like it did on the original toy. I believe that was retooled for the Legends edition. But there you go. A very nice swooshable jet. Lots of fun. Really great to handle. So, yeah. I mean, it does come together very solidly, so it does make up for the slight looseness in robot mode. And you do have that little, what is it, the Decepticon Mayhem Squad logo right there. So that's a little bit different from the original design, but what are you going to do? But yeah, I actually back in the day used to think that it'd be great if Hasbro would just license out the designs of these jets so we could get like a top-down or side-scrolling space shooter, but with all the Decepticon jets, because they looked really cool. And I know, and actually some of them, believe it or not, were based on video game designs of the day. So who knows? Maybe there's something out there that already looks like Slugslinger. But that's about it. We're going to quickly come back with my final thoughts. I have to be honest and say that I am very disappointed with this set. The fact that Sandstorm wasn't fixed, at least that little issue with its chest, is very disappointing because they had enough time that they could have figured something out. And I think a lot of people are going to find that to be a letdown of sorts. And because of that, I really have no reason to recommend this set because you can still get the original Sandstorm fairly reasonably priced or even cheap. If you're obsessed with the animation head, then there you go. Slugslinger, while yes, it is a the body is a little bit looser than I remember, this is really the cheapest option now to get that mold, since both releases, US and Japan, go for a big money on the aftermarket. So if you actually have never had either figure, this set is perfect. You're getting a deal, a real deal. But if you already have them, and you're not obsessed with like the colors like I am with Slugslinger, then this is an easy pass. Like I said, this is an Amazon exclusive. It's shipping now, believe it or not. So definitely keep an eye out. I'm sure it'll go on sale eventually. But that's it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate the views, but you know those likes, comments, and subscriptions help with the algorithms. I also have the Patreon, www.patreon.com/ChuckDog1999. $1 a month, $12 a year. You know the whole spiel. Other than that, this is your old pal Chuck, once again, for Slugslinger and Sandstorm. We will see you next time.